TV requesting permission to take off, please.
0,000, direct Nelson. 3020 on the meter, direct to Cook Canyon Ranch, Gulfstream 0 signal.
Ladies and gentlemen, saying tonight.
Y'all make sure y'all check out the Retro Philosophy Show on YouTube with my man Retro. Like, subscribe, comment, share, copy the link, put it on Instagram in your bio, put it on your Facebook page. Send it to your mama, text it to somebody. But y'all make sure y'all follow this page, Retro Philosophy.
Retro, hashtag press play. It's the Retro Philosophy Show. Let's go!
Kingdom alignment on assignment for the king. Hope you're ready for the show.
Oh, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in.
Let's go for a ride.
Let's go for a ride.
Got my specs on my side. She's my forever bride that keeps hope alive.
I'ma rev it up, so hold on tight.
We about to level up, catch us on the turnpike. From city to city, state to state, coast to coast, man, make no mistake.
We are conquerors,
more than conquerors.
collecting miles and smiles.
Been doing this thing for a while, and all the while winning souls to God. We singing praises to our King. On the hog or on the wing, His praise we always sing, because this is the day that He has made.
Yo, what's up, everybody, including you, Lottie Dottie. As a matter of fact, we came here specifically for Lottie Dottie. Real talk, true story. Lottie Dottie right now is the most important person in my life, other than my wife and my kids. But you understand what I'm saying. In other words, Lottie Dottie is the reason I grind. Lottie Dottie is the reason that I do what I do, how I do what I do. Because Lottie Dottie is a fictitious individual, but ever so real. She represents those who are mistreated, lied to, lied on, overlooked, mishandled, dropped, abused, the underdog. That's who Lottie Dottie is. And if you don't know who Lottie Dottie is, you might be Lottie Dottie. Everybody knows a Lottie Dottie, but not everybody speaks up for Lottie Dottie. Now, I want to talk to you for a few minutes about your responsibility. Is Lottie Dottie your responsibility? Not necessarily so. But you do have a responsibility to be a good human being. So, see, even though she or he, because it's not gender specific, even though Lottie Dottie is not your personal responsibility, you still owe a responsibility to every Lottie Dottie. You know, they say if you see something, say something. And, we've got too many people who are being taken advantage of, used, abused, and people say, well, it ain't my problem. Yes, it is. It is your problem. It's our problem. And that's the problem that we have. That's what's wrong with the world today. We want to pass everything off to the next one. And so anyway, listen to me. We all have our own personal responsibilities. Did I tell you that this was the day that the Lord has made and that I would rejoice and be glad in it? I'm not sure if I told you that already, but this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. Hopefully you can hear me good. It's a brisk, what is today? Thursday afternoon. Well, actually, it's still Thursday morning. It feels like it's later than it actually is. It's 42 degrees here in Statesville, North Carolina, and it's not going to get too much warmer than what it is. It's supposed to warm up slightly, but not as much as I would like it to. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosy. And since I don't control the weather, I just got to deal with the weather. So y'all ride with me for a little bit here, man. I don't know if you guys got anything on your mind. You got any burning questions for your boy Retro? I was going to do a studio session this morning. I was going to go live from the studio, and but things kind of went a different way, and time was of the essence. I got some business to handle later on today, and if I would have got in that studio, that would have at least been an hour or more hour studio time, and then So anyway, I said let me get out of the house, and I would chat to you guys on the tubes as I make my way down Interstate 40 eastbound. Yes, sir. and just chime in with you guys and chit chat. I wanted to talk about support, but I'm going to wait until I get into the studio because there's so many dynamics and so many avenues to explore with that topic and with that discussion. And I want to definitely be focused. So we'll hold off on that and we'll talk about that maybe tomorrow, something like that, from the studio. I've got to check my bike. My exhaust almost sounds as if it's getting louder. So I'm going to have to check that out, man. I know they say it'll break in and everything, but I don't know. She's sounding kind of loud. Not messy loud, but it's a lot louder than what it was. And it could just be the motor breaking in because when I put the motor on, it only had 1,300 miles on it. So that may be, But anyway, responsibility. Let's talk about that for a few moments. Sometimes people think it's their responsibility for others' irresponsibility. And that ain't the case either. What do you mean, Retro? Stop trying to tell people how to do their business. Stop trying to tell people how to live their life. It'll do everybody a favor. And now, look here, man. You see something, say something, right? Very rarely do I close this helmet all the way. I was coming back from Florida the other night, and it got extremely cold, and I closed it. And it just seems like it's extremely loud out this morning, so I'm closing it. So hopefully you can hear me a little bit better. You see something, you say something, right? So in this thing called life, sometimes we love people more than they love themselves. And we've got to learn that we can't live anybody else's life. I do believe that we should offer advice, but here's the thing about advice. I'm not going to tell you what somebody told me years ago. Let me just keep it moving. Advice is not always asked for, but we choose to give it anyway. And when you give advice that wasn't welcome, wasn't asked for, wasn't sought after, it doesn't usually come across as advice. It comes across as judging. It comes across as meddling. It comes across as, being messy, starting trouble, or, looking down your nose on somebody. Who are you to tell me how to live my life? And so on and so forth. So you got to be careful when you are offering advice. I typically don't give advice if it's not asked. If I'm dealing with somebody that's not asking for my advice and I feel they need to be, redirected or whatever, I try to do that by being an example. I will approach a situation more so from an inquisitive way. In other words, bro, how you doing with such and such, and how's that working for you, whatever. Because sometimes what that'll do is that'll get them to open up and start talking about the situation, and then it's a different situation when you begin to respond to their answers. And you can give advice without giving advice. I like what Dr. Duchess said the other day. She chimed in on the show when we were talking about, winners and losers. And she said that when you win, everybody doesn't have to know that that they lost. Many of you guys won't even get that. When you win, everybody else doesn't need to know that they lost. And so there's a way that you can do things without being so, could I use the word intrusive, invasive, And so your responsibility is not the responsibility of others. Your responsibility is not to tell nobody how to live better, showing them by example how you live your life, letting them know that God has no respecter of persons. What he's done for one, he can do for another. But what a lot of people do is they take their success, they take their accomplishments, and things of that nature, and they put it on their chest. And sometimes not intentionally, but indirectly, make others feel less than. Now, I'm not one for downplaying your blessings. I've done that, and I've learned the lesson the hard way. I don't encourage anyone to downplay your blessing, but I do believe that we must do all things in moderation. You know, you got to read the room. You got to know who you're fellowshipping with, who you're surrounding yourself with, because they might not be ready to handle your success. So you may have to dish it out in increments, if you will. Yeah. I mean, it's not downplaying your blessing. It's being strategic. It's being wise. It's being considerate. Sometimes they got to get to the place where, they can handle what God is doing in your life. See, because they might look at you the same way they look at everybody else, because everybody else that they know have always flexed on them. So the moment you start winning, they think, okay, here he come with the flex, But when they get to know you and they get to learn your heart, and sometimes they can't learn your heart because they're too busy looking at your stuff. And so, again, not downplaying your blessing, but sometimes drive the hoopty to work. Sometimes don't put on them $300 alligators. Just slipping them, them Crocs or whatever. I'm saying, give them a chance to warm up to you. Give them a chance to get to know you before they begin to, notice your blessings. It'll work. It'll work for you in more ways than one. Not just a chance for them to get to know you for you, but I'm saying, man, some people are attracted to stuff, and they'll begin to show you a certain part of them or a certain side of them, because based on what they see, according to your stuff, they want to get it. Hey, so God bless you. What's going on, young lady? How's you doing? Hopefully you can hear me well on today. It's a cold one here. Let me shut up, because you up north, so I know you got even colder temperatures. So how about we put this in perspective, huh? But shout out to everybody, and thank you, Hazel, for not just pressing play, but for hitting the comment section. What did I say? Jixer? What's up, yo? He said, yo, what's up? Can't see the avatar, so I'm not really sure who that is, but thank you for pressing play as well. So, yeah, anyway, it bees like that sometimes, and you just got to be careful, man, because some people don't know how to cheer others on, and you got to learn people. Yeah, you got to learn people. Flexing could be dangerous more ways than one. Yeah, it can be dangerous. In a perfect world, and of course we're not in a perfect world, but in a good situation, you will ensure that you are surrounded by are like-minded, and I want to be careful with that, because I've said before, sometimes you got to have some people around you who are not like-minded, but in terms of being able to receive your blessings and things like that, accept your blessings and not hold it against you. See, some people think that you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth, and you wasn't. You was born dirt poor. You had to get it out the mud on your own, and that's why you grind the way you grind. And because you grind the way you grind, you got the things that you got. And so the same way you got it, they can get it if they would pay attention to the process instead of hating on the progress. Oh, that's a word for somebody right there. I think I need to put that on a T-shirt. Pay attention to the process instead of hating on the progress. I might have to preach that one of these Sundays coming soon. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including a Lottie Dottie. Keisha, what's going on, young lady? Yo, when you coming on the show, sis? I want to get you on the show and chit-chat. Hopefully all is well with you. And how are you doing with your show and everything? Yeah, I'm just being nosy, that's all. being nosy. You know how black folk is, just as nosy. Ain't seen folk in a month of Sundays, and the first thing they want to know is how such and such are going. And you're just nosy. My Lord, y'all pray for me. I'm nosy sometimes too. But seriously speaking, we'd love to get you on the show sometime soon, Keisha. Let's make it happen. Your responsibility, all right? My responsibility is not to govern anybody's life. My responsibility is to be a good human being. And you thought your responsibility was to be a good Christian, didn't you? Mm-mm. Your responsibility is to be a good individual. If you are a good person, you're going to be a good Christian. If you're a good person, you're going to be a good biker. If you're a good person, you're going to be a good banker. If you're a good person, you're going to be a good janitor. If you're a good person, you're going to be a good whatever it is that you do in life. You'll be good not because of what you do, but because of who you are. You got some grimy Christians because they're grimy people. And the Holy Ghost is real, but it's not a rapist. It's not going to force itself on you and make you do what it wants you to do. It don't work like that. Now, you got to bring those thoughts into subjection. You got to pull down those strongholds. You got to put the work in. That's your responsibility. That's your responsibility. So, the Williams brothers, I believe it is, sang a song many years ago, and in this song, they were talking about take 6 months to mind your business and 6 months to leave other folks' business alone and sweep around your own front door. Yeah, I'm going to sweep around my own front door before I try to sweep around yours. And so the moral of the story is, if you take 6 months to mind your business and 6 months to leave my business alone, you go through the whole year and you won't be in nobody's business. And your business will have improved. You see how that works? That's your responsibility. Everybody out here trying to police everybody else. Police yourself. Yeah, police yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, I don't know if it makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. Okay? And I just felt compelled to get on here this here morning and say what's up. Mm-hmm. I'm getting off at my exit now. I ain't got far to go, far enough, but not too far. And yeah, so a little inspiration for you in this, in the morning here, because too many of us have been made to feel as though everything we do is wrong. We just can't win for trying, because somebody is always trying to tell you you ought to do it this way. You ought to do it that way. My mustache is going crazy. I ain't putting no wax on it. And them hairs is just going crazy, y'all. Y'all see me trying to get it out my mouth. And but I want to encourage you not to worry about them bozos. Yeah, don't worry about them bozos. Worry about yourself. Your stuff ain't as bad as they trying to make you think, believe, and feel that it is. They're trying to make you feel that way because in all actuality, your situation is better than theirs. Mm-hmm. Don't let them fool you now. They'll try to devalue you. They'll try to tear you down. And all along, they want to replace you. Ask me how I know, doggone it. Yeah, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. That's what Mr. Rogers would say. Hey, let me talk about this because I'm done now. Come on, Keisha, you feeling me? You feeling me, right? Yeah. We doing better than they really letting us know. And that's why you got to stop looking to people for validation. Boy, I can't tell you when the last time I looked to a Negro for validation. You know, if you don't like it, shame on you. You know, because I love it. Mm-hmm. It ain't my best work, but it's my work. At least I can say at the end of the day, I handed my own work. Yeah. I ain't looking over at your desk because you got to have the answers wrong anyway. You know. And so at the end of the day, every day, I turn in my own work. And good or bad, I take responsibility for it. I take accountability for everything I do. You know, I ain't always proud of the outcome. I ain't always proud of the finished product. Lord knows I ain't. But thank God for being a God that still loves. How about now, Keisha? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, stinking devil tried to cut out my audio. You see how he does? I think we're back now. I think it was when that spam call tried to come through. I'm so sick of spam. If it wasn't for spam, my phone wouldn't ring. Anyway, um, I am the way that I am because my mama told me no every now and then. Even when I wanted her to tell me yes, she said, no, boy, you ain't getting it. True story, man. I don't need nobody's validation because I learned to make do with what I got in life. I learned that at a young age. I wanted some shelter with these. Y'all mean my teachers busting them doors, you know. Y'all remember Run DMC. All right, it's been years, but anyway. Matter of fact, true story. That was literally the first concert I ever went to. Was Run DMC, LL Cool J, Public Enemy. I want to say EPMD. It was down at the Civic Center. Yeah, that was literally my man. It was bananas, man. But anyway, I wanted some Shelter Adidas. I needed some sneakers. Mama said, yeah, baby, you need some sneakers. You and your brother both need some sneakers. I'm going to get y'all some sneakers. Lord, I'm getting ready to give you some Shelter Adidas. I'm going to flex on them when I get to school next week, boy. Mama came home with some brand new sneakers. They was white. And when she pulled them out the bag, I said, hold on, wait a minute now. That don't say Adidas. Man, them things said Wild Styles. Wild Styles. I had no choice. I had to rock them. You know, I made sure I had my cuff cover the tongue so that you couldn't see that it didn't say Adidas, you know. I had to learn the hard way, man. What's my point? My point is I didn't always have the latest styles. So I had to take what I had and make it fly. Yeah, that's why you see me now. That's why my swag is the way that it is, because I don't need a tell me that it's swagalicious. I bring the swag to the fabric. Come on, let me calm down, because y'all going to say he up there feeling himself, acting like he the best thing since sliced bread. He ain't none of that anyway. And you could be right. But I'm saying, if you don't love yourself, who going to love you? If you don't believe in you, if you don't think you cute, you going to be ugly. So I need everybody to say in the comment section, I'm cute. I don't care what you say. Yeah. Everybody put in the comment section right now, I'm cute. Yeah. If you don't think you're cute, you're going to be ugly. That's why some folks so ugly right now. Because ain't nobody ever told them that they was cute. And so they got an attitude with life. And all they ever do is just let ugliness come out of them. Good Lord. Somebody tell that ugly girl, that ugly dude that he cute, she cute. So they can stop being so mean and mean mug. Okay, let me stop. I'm up here acting all silly and everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, I learned to come with my own swag. You can go out and spend, I remember one time we was out with some folks. We was down in New York doing some shopping, man, and they was dropping the bag on the gear, man. We had this big party we were going to and everything, and so we down in New York shopping, get the latest fashions and everything. And I'm looking at my man, and I'm like, dang, yo. I mean, he was dropping bread, yo. I mean, he dropped the bag. I said, God almighty. Man, look at here, man. Let me off over there at the Goodwill. And then I'm going to stop by Ross, maybe even TJ Maxx. And when I come out of there, you ain't going to tell the difference. Come on, somebody. All right, I got somebody that know they cute. You better want to know it, Hazel. We all cute up in here today. Ain't nothing but cute folk on the live today. Yes, sir. Don't nobody ugly get on my live. Everybody on my live cute with your pretty self, with your handsome self. Look at you. Oh, God. Ain't he good, though, y'all? Ain't he good? Ain't no need to be ugly. I've seen people that weren't so pretty, but they was cute as can be. Because they had the nicest disposition about themselves. They had the nicest attitude, the nicest. I mean, they were just, I mean to tell you, man, I ain't lying to you, man. I've seen folks that had better features, but were way uglier. I mean to tell you, y'all light-skinned folk, y'all the worst. Y'all think because y'all yellow that you automatically cute. I done met some ugly yellow bones, red bones or whatever you call them. And you think because you got your light skin complexion and your curly hair that you just, and you would be a whole lot prettier if you would learn to smile and stop acting like you're the best thing since sliced bread, you know. Um, so, but then Wesley Snipes came along and the dark skinned brothers was in style, and then them dark jokers started acting like they was everything, walking around here. And so look at, man, as they say, man, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I'm gonna leave y'all alone, man. I'm pulling up to my assignment. I got to get in here and be a responsible, individual. And so I thank you for riding with me. But your services are no longer needed for the rest of the day. I'll holler at you tomorrow, I guess, and we can pick it back up then. You know what? That's a topic right there that I need to talk about because it is seriously a pet peeve of mine when folk use people. Now when we have a mutual agreement, that's cool. But there are some people that strategically and intentionally set out to just use folks. We got to talk about that, y'all, because we that got to stop. That has got to stop. All right, real talk. I'm here, guys. I do appreciate you for rocking with me, and thank you for pressing play when I go live. Here's what I need you to do because it doesn't cost you anything to go over to my YouTube channel and hit subscribe. I hear people all the time when I'm at different events or when I meet different people. Oh, Retro, I caught your show. I watch your show all the time. Blah 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 blah. And I'm really appreciative of that. I'm humbled, really. But I never see their names in the comment section. I never see them, hitting a like. So if you are watching this content and you have yet to interact, just do me a favor. Just hit that like button just to make sure it still works, because that changes the algorithm, which eventually could get me to the point where I might get a few nickels coming back my way. They actually paying folk out here for for their content, especially when there's a lot of interaction and stuff. So and all that's gonna do is go back in the tank. Ruby Red gonna eat all that up. So I ain't asking you to pay my mortgage or nothing like that. I ain't even asked you to buy me nothing to eat. Just help me with a little something on the tank by hitting like and say, hey, Retro, good show this morning, or hey, Retro, you should talk about this, or hey, Retro, you shouldn't talk about that. Just hit the comment section and say something. Even if you're just passing through, just say, hey, passing through, man, yeah, be blessed. Maybe you want to drop a prayer request. But the more you interact in that comment section and hit that like button, God knows, you start to hit the share button, it makes a big difference. Okay. I got a check the other day from Facebook. You know how much it was for? $2.22. I said, thank you, Jesus. $2.22. I said, Shama mama. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, and so hey, don't despise small beginnings. But You know, if I had a bunch of booty bouncing on my timeline, them likes and views would be up there. If I had a bunch of, you know how that goes. But since we're up here trying to encourage people and talk about, the Lord and stuff like that, people will listen, but they won't really interact until they need it. What was his name? Nicodemus. He went to Jesus by night. He wanted what Jesus had. He wanted the information. He wanted the knowledge. He wanted the experience. But he wouldn't do it publicly. And that's what a lot of folk do. They watch your stuff and they see what you're doing and they benefit from it. They use it. All this, that, and the other. But they won't say anything publicly. That's why I give a shout out to all those that rock with your boy publicly without apology. Thank you so much. And just to remind you, you guys really are cute today. It's your boy Retro, man. We love you, and we'll catch you real soon. Whether on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever.
Retro, hashtag press play. It's the Retro Philosophy Show. Let's go!
Kingdom alignment on assignment for the king. Hope you're ready for the show.
Oh, thanks for tuning in.